Why did the laughter fade into silence between two of the world's most beloved stars? And what hidden shift are fans now uncovering? Comment your theories, like and subscribe as we unravel the emotional mystery behind the quiet moment that changed everything. Was it really just a pause, or was it the moment millions of hearts sensed something had changed forever? Why did a fleeting silence between two inseparable figures ignite a storm of speculation that still refuses to fade? And how did a bond once defined by effortless laughter suddenly become framed by hesitation, distance, and questions that no official statement has answered? The moment that set off this wave of discussion was brief, almost ordinary in its timing, yet extraordinary in its aftermath. Fans watching closely noticed the stillness first, the absence of the familiar spark, and then the realization spread like electricity through global communities devoted to every nuance of their connection. The shift felt too subtle to explain and too visible to ignore. From that instant, the dynamic between Kim Taehyung and Jungkook became one of the most discussed emotional puzzles in modern pop culture. For years, the relationship between the two artists had been portrayed as one of instinctive closeness, a friendship often described by observers as natural and unforced. Their shared glances, spontaneous laughter, and synchronized humor formed part of the emotional architecture of BTS itself, shaping not only fan perceptions, but also the narrative of brotherhood that surrounded the group's global identity. Their dynamic had been framed through countless performances, interviews, and candid moments, where warmth seemed unfiltered and connection immediate. Because of this long history, the silence that fans later noticed did not register as a neutral occurrence. It appeared instead as a rupture in a story people believed they understood intimately. The moment under scrutiny occurred during a public interaction that otherwise carried routine energy. Cameras captured the two in proximity, yet the anticipated exchange never came. Where there might once have been teasing or shared amusement, there was stillness. Kim Taehyung's expression appeared thoughtful, almost withdrawn, while Jungkook's demeanor seemed attentive yet restrained. It lasted seconds. Yet those seconds became magnified through repetition, slowed playback, and frame-by-frame analysis across fan spaces. Observers questioned whether they were witnessing mere fatigue, the natural ebb of mood, or an emotional recalibration that words had not yet reached. The absence of overt tension did not quiet speculation. It amplified it. Silence can be interpreted infinitely, and in this case, every interpretation carried emotional weight. What deepened the intrigue was the contrast with their earlier public interactions. Historical footage resurfaced, showing years of laughter that seemed effortless. Fans recalled stages where the two gravitated instinctively toward each other, private jokes unfolding in public view. In those memories, proximity equaled ease, and shared presence required no negotiation. When juxtaposed with the later moment of quiet, the difference appeared stark, as if an invisible boundary had formed where none had existed before. The change did not need words to be felt. The perception of difference itself became the narrative. Speculation evolved quickly into broader questions. Had their friendship matured into a quieter form that outsiders misunderstood? Were they navigating personal growth that simply altered how they expressed closeness? Or was the silence symptomatic of unspoken tension? The kind that develops naturally between individuals who have shared intense experiences over long periods? None of these possibilities could be confirmed, yet each carried emotional plausibility. Fans oscillated between reassurance and concern, searching for signals in every subsequent appearance. A shared smile became evidence of continuity, a neutral interaction rekindled doubt. The dynamic turned into a living text, constantly interpreted and reinterpreted. Observers noted that time itself complicates any relationship formed under extraordinary circumstances. Kim Taehyung and Jungkook entered global visibility at formative ages, experiencing adulthood within a shared professional and emotional ecosystem. Such environments compress experiences that might otherwise unfold gradually. Bonds forged under these conditions can be intensely close, but they also evolve under pressures few friendships encounter. Success, responsibility, and individual identity development reshape how people relate, even when affection remains intact. The public, however, often expects constancy, especially when a connection has been celebrated as emblematic. When change appears, even subtly, it can feel like contradiction. The silence, therefore, became symbolic rather than literal. It represented the fear of alteration within a cherished narrative. Fans who had long taken comfort in the perceived simplicity of their bond now confronted the possibility that relationships, even deeply rooted ones, transform. Yet transformation does not equate to loss. Some argued that the quiet moment reflected comfort, the ease of not needing to perform familiarity for an audience. Others insisted it signaled distance. Between these poles, discussion expanded beyond the individuals themselves into reflections on how public relationships are perceived. People began asking whether the expectation of perpetual visible closeness had itself been unrealistic. Subsequent appearances by both artists were examined through the lens created by that initial silence. Each interaction carried disproportionate interpretive weight. A brief exchange during a performance was hailed as proof of enduring warmth. A lack of overt engagement reignited narratives of change. The cycle illustrated how perception can reshape reality. Once viewers believe something has shifted, they interpret neutral events through that belief. Yet the emotional investment driving such analysis was genuine. Fans were not merely curious. They were responding to a perceived alteration in a connection that had felt personally meaningful. Neither Kim Taehyung nor Jungkook addressed the speculation directly. Their silence on the subject mirrored the original moment that sparked discussion, reinforcing ambiguity. Public figures often navigate boundaries between private relationships and public perception, and clarifying every perceived change would be impossible. Still, absence of explanation can intensify interpretation. Without definitive context, audiences construct narratives to fill gaps. In this case, the constructed narratives varied widely: maturation, distance, introspection, or simple misreading. Each theory revealed as much about collective expectations as about the artists themselves. The emotional undertone of the debate remained complex. Many expressed longing for the visible ease of earlier years, equating it with authenticity. Others emphasized respect for evolution, suggesting that quieter interactions might reflect deeper stability, rather than fading closeness. This divide underscored a broader truth about how audiences relate to public friendships. Visibility often becomes equated with vitality. When expressiveness changes, observers may assume emotional change. Yet intimacy can shift from exuberant display to calm presence without diminishing. The difficulty lies in recognizing such transitions from afar. Memories of their shared past continued to shape interpretation. Fans recalled interviews where Kim Taehyung spoke of companionship and trust, and moments when Jungkook displayed admiration and reliance. These recollections functioned as emotional anchors, reinforcing the belief that their bond possessed resilience. The silence, therefore, felt inconsistent with established understanding. But human connections are not static artifacts. They are processes unfolding over time. Public narratives, however, often freeze relationships at peak visibility, making any subsequent variation appear anomalous. The discussion extended into reflections on how growth reshapes interpersonal dynamics. Both artists have pursued individual artistic identities alongside group commitments. Such development can recalibrate relationships, not through conflict but through differentiation. As individuals refine personal direction, they renegotiate closeness within evolving contexts. Observers may misinterpret this recalibration as distance, particularly when earlier stages of friendship were characterized by youthful spontaneity. The quiet moment may thus symbolize adulthood replacing adolescence, composure replacing exuberance. Yet for many fans, the transition remained emotionally unsettling. What sustained the debate was the lack of closure. No explicit confirmation of change or continuity emerged. Instead, the narrative lingered in possibility.